Hey, how's it going, everyone? Seafood Dax here. Today we're going to be talking about this guy, the Epee de Combat, otherwise known as the French dueling sword. I'm going to be giving you reasons as to why you should be looking into Epee, and I'm going to give you a drawback, if you will, more like something that you should keep in mind while using this weapon. Now, first off, I have to say, because a lot of people seem to think that the epee is less lethal than the foil. Okay, the reason why some people say that is two reasons. One is because in foil, your center of body is a valid target, whereas in epee, your entire body. So even if I get you in your big toe, I get a point in epee. But also because epee in its time was a first blood dueling weapon. Okay, so he who was able to draw blood first wins. Whereas foil or small sword, some people seem to think that it was till the death only, but this is simply not true. Okay, first blood rules always existed. It was really up to the participants to decide if they wanted to duel to the death or to first blood. Okay, so it was really from pressure of the government, okay, to finally end dueling to the death and only duel to first blood. Okay, not because of the weapon itself. Okay, now the reason why foil only goes for the body is because they did not have sophisticated fencing equipment. Okay, they only had jackets that they would wear. Okay, they didn't have masks. Okay, so obviously you're not going to get want to get hit in the face, especially the eye. Okay, and they didn't have nice gloves. Okay, remember that back in the day they had a nail head, not a button head that takes off, you know, some of the pressure. And getting hit with that nail head over and over and over again in the hands must be fairly irritating. Now, the foil, around the time that the epee developed, had started to be seen by a lot of fencers as serious fencers as something that was more like a sport, something that had been grown into a fun game for the nobility, and less rooted in actual sword fighting. Okay, and this is reflected in a sword master, Baron Bazincourt, in his book Secrets of the Epee. It's a great book. I highly recommend it. And for example, some of the things he says is like, oh, you know, why do I have to engage your blade, you know, and play this back and forth game if I could just stay on the outside and snipe your hands, you know, or your bicep? How is that not a valid target? Okay, and similarly, the sword arm is not the only targets we do in epee. Okay, sometimes instead of stop hitting right to the sword hands, we do what's called a second intention. For example, I could be going for your sword arm, right, baiting you to attack the inside, and then once you come in, I can do any number of blade actions, right, and seize your blade so I could hit the torso. Okay, so we definitely attack the deeper targets as well. Okay, it's not just the face, arms, and legs. Okay, anyone that's fenced epee knows this. Bruce Lee took a lot behind the theory and philosophy of the epee, whereas the foil was more of the defend and riposte method. Epee was more the counteroffensive, okay? Either intercepting or attack and defend at the same time, okay? So why not learn both, right? I think both are important to learn. Especially if you're going into rapier or other thrust-centric swords, spadroon, and even some of the later Victorian sabers. I highly recommend epee because we are trained to hit very precise targets, okay? And there's no other weapon that improves your point accuracy, okay, like the epee, okay? Now for the drawback, this giant cup hilt, okay? We know that the original epees did not have such massive hand protection, okay? If you could see, right, when I'm on the on guard, we're actually trained to keep the entire sword arm behind the hilt, okay? It's kind of like a mini buckler, okay? And like I said, the older epees did not have this much hand protection, okay? So when you go to transition, okay, to a sword that has less hand protection, okay, like a knuckle bow or even, you know, something that has no hand protection, and you rely constantly on that hilt, okay, then guess what? You're going to find that you're going to be getting hit a lot more easily, okay? But it has its positives too, because any little opening, for example, if I go too much here, boom, we are trained as epee fencers to hit the outside. If I open here, boom, inside, right? If I lower it, right, we're trained to hit all these really precise areas of the hands, okay? And this really does wonders for your point control, okay? So once again, highly recommend epee. And if you like the video, go ahead, like, subscribe. If you don't, comment below and tell me what you think. Thank you.